Hey everybody, this is going to be a sort of PSA for you guys, and it's just something that kind of was interesting to me and kind of unnerving when I really think about it. But I went to GameStop recently. I was just on the way home and I'm like, okay, you know what? I got a few extra bucks. Let's see if I can find anything that might be interesting for the channel. So I found this cheap copy of Gears of War 3, and I found this really cheap copy of 99 Nights. It was $3. The Gears of War is $4 or $5, as you can see here, $4.99 specifically. And when I put that in the console, nothing was problematic. In fact, nothing looked problematic on the disc or in the case itself. In fact, I can just show you right now. And there doesn't appear to be anything wrong with the disc, and it has the little insert thing. Unfortunately, it's not a manual, but it's an insert. 99 Nights, on the other hand, does not have the manual in there, and I didn't think too much of it when the guy pulled the game from behind the counter and stuck it in the case. I mean, it was $3, you know. I didn't expect there to be a manual or anything like that, because it is pre-owned, and for some bizarre reason, people love to throw away their manuals. I don't get it. If you have the case and you keep the case, why the hell do you throw the manual away? Anyway. So when I further inspected the disc, I noticed that something was really weird about it. And you can see here that there's this really shiny, silvery circle surrounding the hole in the disc. Now, if I give you a couple of close-up images, which I will do in a moment, you will be able to see the difference between this disc and a normal Xbox 360 disc. I didn't have one that just has this Xbox 360 bit up here. Because this was a game from 2006, I want to say, and it didn't have live integration, so they just had this Xbox 360 logo. The closest I can give you for comparison is this Metal Gear Solid HD collection, which is actually brand new, but as you can see, that's what they changed it to later on. But I'll give you guys a close-up comparison of these two discs, and you will be able to see right away that there is a big difference between this one and this one. And it's not just from this silvery disc thing, but this one actually has the hologram on it. All Xbox 360 games have a hologram with the Xbox 360 logos surrounding the inner ring of the disc. And I will give you guys a close-up of that.
Now, I apologize for the quality of the photos. I basically did what I could with what I have. I don't have any sort of professional photography equipment, so there's only so much I can do with this. But suffice to say, I hope you can actually make out that there is a holographic image around the inner ring of the disc. It is the Xbox logos. And that's normally a really good indicator of whether a disc is legit or not. If it's bootleg, then it's not going to have that holographic image around it. And that's what my primary worry was with this 99 Nights disc that I'll be showing you in a moment. But this is just kind of a quick thing you can do with both Xbox 360 and the original Xbox discs. They also had a similar logo, but it was for the original Xbox instead of Xbox 360. So that's a good thing to just do a quick check, and it's really easy to verify. You just kind of tilt the disc around and it will show the image depending on the light. Now, I'm going to show you this 99 Nights disc, and you are going to very immediately see that there isn't that holographic image around, and that immediately tipped me off that something was wrong. Now, luckily, it is not, in fact, a bootleg disc. It is a legit Xbox 360 disc, and that is what I noticed in trying to peel that weird silvery sticker kind of thing off. Now, it should have clued me in earlier because I did stick it in the disk drive for my Xbox 360 just to see if it even read, because if it wasn't a legit disc, then it probably wouldn't have read the disc anyway. It did read the disc, but when I stuck it in there and it tried to read the disc, it made a really weird noise. So, upon further inspection, I surmised that it was this weird silver ring thingy that was causing the problem. So I started to pick away at the disc, and that both verified that it is in fact legit, and it revealed something interesting. When I peeled the sticker away, I found this. Now, it may be a bit hard to see, so I'm going to point it out, but you can see that there is actually a crack in the disc. And obviously what this silvery sticker sort of thing is meant to do is repair the disc. It's supposed to keep the disc together so you can actually stick it in your console and play it. Now here's the problem with that. When a crack forms in an Xbox 360 disc, or really any other disc for that matter, you don't repair it. If it gets scratched, you can fix that. But cracks are irreparable. The best you can do is stave off disaster. And I do not trust this disc with my console, because if this thing gets too much stress when it's spinning, the disc will actually shatter, and it will destroy the disc drive in your console. And I believe this is actually not covered under warranty. So if you sent this back to Microsoft to repair, they wouldn't fix it under warranty, and they'd charge you for it. At least, I think. I'm not entirely sure. I've never had to send an Xbox in for this sort of repair, because I've never had this happen. And luckily, the disc didn't shatter while I was just trying to test it for reading purposes. But regardless, this has me concerned, because I really don't know where in the supply line this thing received its crack and its repair attempt. It could be that a previous owner had these kind of stickers around and they tried to fix it themselves. It could be that some store somewhere along the line had a repair service and they took control of this thing and stuck that on there. I really don't know. And I'm certainly not going to throw any accusations around, because I really don't know who repaired the disc, or at least attempted to, I should say. And I really don't know where along the line this thing has been sold. It could have been resold numerous times in this condition, for all I know. And for all I know, this repair is sound enough, but I don't trust it. I didn't trust it when it was untouched, and I certainly don't trust it now that I've picked at it a bit. But it did give me a chance to make a video for you guys to let you know to inspect your discs when you buy a video game. I don't care whether it's an Xbox game or a PC game or whatever it may well be. If you see a crack in that disc, don't get it. It's not worth risking your console over. And if you see one like this, where it has that sort of silvery circle around the center, don't get one of those either, because even though it is a sort of repaired disc, and it's entirely possible that the crack itself is not structurally damaging enough to actually make the disc fully shatter yet, it's not worth risking it. Now, luckily in my case, this was only $3, and it's entirely possible the store didn't even know it was a repaired copy, because, I mean, let's face it, people will do crazy things to retail stores. I have seen reports of people who would actually go and they would get a game and it would actually become damaged, and what they would do is they would go to like a Blockbuster rental or something like that, rent their game, and then when they get home, they swap the discs out, so they bring the one back to Blockbuster that's damaged, and then they hung on to the rental copy of the game. So who really knows what happened here? And with the pre-owned market, that's something you run the risk of. You run the risk of finding copies that are not legit, which is thankfully rare. I've actually never run into a game that wasn't a legit copy, so that's a good thing. Now, I have run into situations where the game box did not contain the games advertised on the box itself, which I have actually gone over in another video, which I can put up in an annotation right here. And I have also run into situations where it didn't include all of the discs, or it didn't include the product key. For example, I picked up a copy of Operation Flashpoint, and because I didn't have the manual to go along with it, I actually couldn't play the game because you need the CD key for that, and that's printed on the manual. I've had that happen a couple of times, in fact. And now this, where the game has obviously suffered some structural damage on its disc, and they have attempted to repair it at some point in its lifespan, and who knows how long that will actually hold together, if at all, really. So the overall message here is to just be careful when you are picking up used games. If you are given the opportunity to inspect the game itself, to inspect the packaging, to inspect the disc, then do so, because that can save you a lot of problems right from the get-go. And if you don't notice something and you get it home and maybe it's just a faulty copy of the game or something like that, and that does happen on occasion, but I've never run into it myself, then you can go from there. But ultimately, it's a bit of a crapshoot when it comes to the used game market. Most of the time, you're not going to run into problems. And this is the first time I've ever run into this. Like I said, I haven't really run into all that many issues so far. I have run into a few, but nothing that has completely destroyed my confidence in the used game market. But it's just something you need to watch out for. You need to be careful with your purchases, even if it's something that was really cheap like this was. So keep that in mind when you're shopping for used games, and I will catch you guys in later videos.